So our agenda for today, we're going to do welcome and introductions. We're going to do a little icebreaker that I like to call What Do We All Have in Common? And then we're going to talk about the purpose and mission of the Student Leadership Council, important dates and resources that you all need to know. And then we're going to talk today, we're really going to focus on the New York State legislative process because it is in high gear right now, because we are in the midst of it, and because next month we're going to have most of you joining us here in Albany for our Student Advocacy Day. So we're going to really talk about that, and then we're going to turn it over to APC's communications arm to talk about a little project that we would like to do with all of you, videotaping yourselves a day in the life of an APC student. So with that, any thoughts or questions before we get started? No? All right. I'm going to stop sharing for just one quick minute because we're going to do our little icebreaker. So we're going to do a little icebreaker that I like to call What Do We All Have in Common? Because the fact of the matter is that we all have a lot more in common than we may think off the top. I mean, we're all just getting to know each other. So what we're going to do is I'm going to break everybody into just random breakout rooms. I'm probably going to adjust it a little to make sure that there's a staff person in each one. You've got 5 minutes because we have a lot of other stuff to cover, but you've got 5 minutes to talk with the group in your breakout room and find one thing that you all have in common. Now, just a couple of quick rules. It cannot be that you're all students at APC member institutions. It cannot be that you're all looking forward to participating in the Student Leadership Council. So I would hope that when you come back to report back, it's something like, oh, we all have an uncle whose name is Joe, or we all love chocolate ice cream, or, you know, we're all big fans of the Yankees because most of us were from the Bronx, or something along those lines. So I'm going to kick us off. And first I'm going to say hello to Maria, who just joined us. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Donna and everyone.
I just let you in. I know you're on here somewhere. We've got lots of students on with us. So, all
nice
right.
to see everyone.
I know, right? This is great. It's a great group. All right. So I am going to break us all down into breakout rooms. Here we go. And again, like I said, I'm just going to do this randomly. I'm going to do it by 4. So, well, actually, let's do it by 5. So there should be 5 or 6 participants by room. I'm going to say create. Let me just double check and make sure there is 2. I'm just making sure that there's a staff person in every room. And there is Nicole, I see you, Brianna. Okay. All right. So I'm going to open all the rooms. So you should all receive an invitation. Just go into your room. Like I said, 5 minutes, chat amongst yourselves and find one thing that you all have in common. So here you go. All right. Everybody's back. All right. So how did it go? Did we all find one thing we all have in common?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm seeing lots of shaking heads. That's awesome. All right, let's start with room number 1. Carla and Janet, you were both in room number 1. Do you want to unmute, introduce yourselves quickly, and tell us about what did you find that you all had in common?
Do you want to go for it, Carla? Well, I'll quickly introduce myself, Carla Downey, Hinman Straub, a team member with Janet.
And Janet Silver, also with Hinman Straub. So, and Hinman, we do your government relations and lobbying here in Albany and are super excited to have you all here today. So we came about it we learned a lot in our few minutes, but I think at the end of the day, we came to the common consensus of junk food / comfort food. I don't think you could put one category. So, you know, we learned that Kamoy likes to run, but he likes to carb load. And so Fruity Pebbles was something that came out. That was not mine. I started with my love of Starburst today, which for all of you, I've been eating them since 9 o'clock this morning because I'm tired and that's not really healthy. You know, we all talked about our like pasta and good stuff. So I think that's where we landed in a roundabout way.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. And room number 2, we had Julie and Kyle. Do you guys want to unmute and introduce yourselves quickly and tell us what you guys found that you all have in common?
So hi, I'm Kyle. I'm part of the Hinman team with APC, and I work with Donna just helping make magic happen around here.
Mm-hmm. And I'm Julie, also with Hinman Straub, working with Carla and Janet.
as a lobbyist. Kyle, take it away. You're much better at this than I am.
So I would say we actually came away without finding a common consensus, which tells me that the thing we most have in common is our diversity. We had folks who had traveled all the way from Florida to come to school up here. We had people who liked pasta, who liked Jamaican food, who had wanted to carb load. We had people who drive, people who don't drive, people who have pets, people who don't have pets, only children, big families. We covered a great gamut, only to really discover that we kind of all ended up in a similar spot, even though we came from a wildly different background.
And while I will say that Kyle has her background blurred right now, so you can't quite see how sparkly it is sparkly because today is Kyle's birthday. So we can all say happy birthday to Kyle. All right. Room number 3 was Sam and Heather. Do you guys want to unmute and tell us introduce yourselves quickly, and then tell us what you found that you all have in common?
So I'm Heather Evans, Hinman Straub. So I'm on the team that is Janet, Carla, and Julie. We're the lobbying government relations team. And Sam, where'd you go? Okay.
I'm right here. Hi everyone, I'm Sam Torrey. I work for Corning Place Communications along with my colleague Nicole, who is apparently in another room soon to be. And we help support APC's communications efforts and work alongside Hinman Straub.
Awesome. All right.
So yeah, we were gonna force one of the students to talk section, but I guess we have to. So
well, you can if you have a student in mind that you would like to unmute, by all means.
No, we'll go with consistency. So
Okay.
we roundabout way found out that none of us has gone to Ellis Island before. So and coming in at number 2, we tend to like Dunkin' Donuts more than Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
We were
All very good.
extremely split on whether or not pineapple should be placed on a pizza. Very,
There
very
you go.
contentious conversation there, but it was all
The
good.
answer is always yes.
That's right, Kyle. I forgot you're the pineapple fan.
Yeah, there you go. All right. And room number 4 had Nicole in it. So Nicole, do you want to unmute and tell us a little about yourself? And then what did you guys all find that you had in common?
My name is Nicole Stecknick. I am Team Pineapple on Pizza, a recent convert. So I'm actually going to throw it over to Maya to tell us what we had in common because she did a great job.
Hi everyone, I'm Maya. So our team found that we all have a love for the arts, especially theater as well. A lot of us in our breakout room, we have had some form of background in theater, whether it be in acting, in our degrees, or just in our past, our general love of it. We have a lot of love for theater arts, and we also have a lot of love for just arts in general. A lot of them are in the fashion major field. So that's what we had in common for our groups.
Great. Well, thank you. And last but certainly not least, we have Brianna, who was in room number 5. Brianna, do you want to unmute?
Hello, everyone. My name is Brianna. I am also with the Hinman team. There's a lot of us on this call. I won't name everybody. But our group almost instantaneously came up with something we all have in common, which is a love of reading. I think the majority of us like to read mystery, thriller, psychological books, but I think we were also open to other genres and we were sharing book recommendations. So that was our commonality.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, was there anything else that came up in all of your little group conversations that stood out to anybody? And it's okay if there wasn't, or you can throw it in the chat if you want.
I was just going to say, I found it interesting that there was like some themes that you could hear from all of our groups. Like we had reading come up in our group too, and a couple of other things. So that was awesome.
Yeah. That's good. That's great. Well, the whole idea behind this little exercise really is just to get to know each other a little bit better, and really just to realize that, you know, even though we come from different institutions and we may be at different points in our higher education career, you know, we do still all have a lot in common. You know, you're still all working your way through your higher education. You're all working towards that graduation, or maybe you've already graduated and you're an alumni from an APC member institution. But you know, the bottom line is we're all really happy that you're here. We're looking forward to working with you. It's just a good way to get to meet the team here at APC that works with your member institutions every single day. So just a couple of quick things, and I'm going to just share my screen again quickly. Oh, actually, I'm going to let Dara in. And just to wrap things up before I turn it over to Hinman Straub to talk about the New York State legislative process, I just wanted to note a couple of resources for you. Like, for instance, we do have a private website. I say that because this is not published anywhere. You need to know what the link is to get to it. And we do have some good dates coming up to keep in mind. The APC Student Advocacy Day is next month, April 24th and 25th. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. And then a little later in the spring, we're going to be making a trip to Washington, D.C. to meet with our congressional members and our senators to talk about some of our federal legislative priorities. We will get to that further on down the road. Like I said, today we're really going to focus on the APC, the state legislative process, because that is fast approaching. And I'm going to stop sharing here quickly. Okay. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Janet and her team. Hinman Straub is the company that APC retains to do all of our legislative work. Janet and her team really have their fingers on the pulse of what's happening at the state level, how the process works, why it's important for you to all be engaged in that process. So I'm going to turn it over to Janet. I will just mention, obviously, this whole thing is being recorded, but we'll also put these slides up on that website that I was talking about. So that'll be your kind of go-to place to always figure out what's going on with APC's Student Leadership Council. And with that, Janet, take it away.
Thanks, everyone. And as you can see, we have an awesome team here at Hinman. So I encourage, you know, my Hinman team to step in and, you know, correct me or join the fun in going through this. But we thought we would just share a few little slides with all of you today. And for some of you who were participants last year, you know, this will be familiar to you. As Donna said, we're excited to have everyone come to Albany in February to be here as part of our Student Lobby Day. We said in the chat, like so many of us, we love today to kick this off, but we actually love it better when you're here in town with us for like 24 hours and we get to see you in person and to do meetings, and we'll go through a much more in-depth boot camp and have you ready for those meetings. But we thought we would just give you a couple of, you know, quick backgrounds because we are in the middle of the year here. Why am I not advancing my slides? Can you see my slides?
We can.
Yeah. Janet, you have to maybe start the PowerPoint because right now you're still in, you know, you're sort of like the drafting mode.
Shy from the beginning.
Janet, do you see that box up at the top that says resume slideshow?
No.
Oh.
It
I
says
can see it. It's to the slight left of animations. Click
There.
that.
Right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now I'm good?
Yeah.
No. Okay, here we go. Now we're on. See, we've been having technology issues and maybe I need some more Starburst. I think it's some more
Sure
Starburst.
have.
So the purpose of this is just to kind of lay the land of where we are with budget process. I'm going to like just jump to the chase. The state budget came out yesterday and we are in a really good spot to start our advocacy this year. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. We're going to run through the players and then we're going to just talk a little bit about our legislative agenda for the upcoming year. And if anyone has questions, throw them in the chat. If you have comments on it, throw them in the chat, and my team, you know, feel free to answer those questions or stop me and let me know what I'm missing. So the New York State budget process is what we advocate for. And we bring the students here every year to make sure your voice is heard, right? And we want to advocate not only for you, but for all the students who attend APC colleges, and more importantly, connect with students from around the state that are doing the same thing. Usually we're just talking about the process and when the budget's going to be out. But like I said, the budget came out yesterday afternoon. We are thankful for Governor Hochul for actually releasing it earlier yesterday. Our team actually got to go home and go to sleep last night, which is better than many other years when we've been here, past midnight or in the early hours of the morning. I feel like some years I'm back in college doing the all-nighter, writing our term paper so we can get all of our memos out the door. But it was a pretty early night for most of us last night, which is thankful. Maybe Julie's the one who didn't have that last night and may have gone to bed as the sun was coming up this morning. So we analyze the executive budget, and then, the legislature starts their process in the month of February. They hold budget hearings, they determine their priorities. And so our lobby day being the last week in February is really important in that timeline. And then in middle of March, the Senate and Assembly each have to release their version of the budget. And once that is released, the last few weeks of April, they negotiate, meaning the governor's office, the division of budget, those are the money people, the Senate and Assembly trying to come to consensus on what our overall state budget will be. And that deadline for that is April 1st. The last few years, we have not made the budget on time. This year, I think because of the holidays, maybe we are. And also the fact that it's an election year, people want to get the budget done. And it's really, as I said, it's non-controversial. We're in a pretty good spot. From there, the governor has the ability to do line item vetoes on any appropriation that was added to the budget, and then the legislature has the ability to override. And so that's kind of just the process. So we just started. Today is like day one of the budget process. And, for the next, essentially 6 weeks, we're going to be advocating on our priorities with the goal of getting those priorities in either the Senate and Assembly, one house, maybe both. That's even better. And then ultimately, hopefully, be included in the governor's final budget, which is due on April 1. So a little bit about who's in power. In the Senate, it is still not advanced. I'll resume slideshow again. Sorry. There we go. In the Senate, it is the majority leader is Andrea Stewart Cousins from Westchester. There are 63 members. You can see I have an asterisk. We have 2 seats that are currently vacant for individuals who won other seats in November. There will be a special election held in February to fill those 2 vacant seats. And again, this is a Democratic majority in the Senate. Over in the Assembly, they're led by Speaker Carl Heastie, who is from the Bronx. Go all those folks from Monroe. He also used to be an adjunct professor at Monroe University for many years too. So some of your friends or some of your professors may know him personally from his time when he was at Monroe. They are also a Democratic majority. And again, just like the Senate, they have 2 vacancies right now that will be filled in a special election in February. Our governor, Kathy Hochul, who is up for re-election this year. She is being challenged by Bruce Blakeman, who is currently the county executive in Long Island and Nassau County. So we will have to see. This is early on in the year, but this will be front and center. So you'll be able, as part of the Student Leadership Council, to understand the process and the politics behind it, but also watch it as we go forward and hopefully, come November for all of the elections, if you're interested, maybe you'll find a voice or a way to participate in that. The governor took office in 21 when the former governor, Andrew Cuomo, stepped down, and she was formally first elected in 2022. And that, is really kind of the overall of who's the leadership within the Senate Assembly and in the governor's office. And then just, quickly, we talk about what is it that the students are going to do and why have your voice and why come to Albany and what does it do to lend that to APC. These are just some examples of things that we kind of help with talking points and we encourage all of you to think about every year. Why did you go to college? What program are you enrolled in? We focus a lot on the tuition assistance program. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is New York's student-sponsored scholarship program. So It looks at your income, it looks at your family situation, and if you are eligible, then that is a grant that is provided to students. And New York has one of the most generous student scholarship programs in the country, and so we want to make sure that that is maintained, but also always looking to expand it and find ways to make college more affordable for all of you. And for all of us that may still be paying student loans or have that loan debt, we understand what that means and why that's so important. And then we really want to make sure that you have the ability to talk to elected officials about, if you are comfortable, like what's your family situation or what are your challenges? You are constituents at the end of the day, right? You are living in somebody's district and you have the ability to vote, and they care about what you have to say and they care about your life circumstances. So that's really what our role is about how do we bring you all together and hopefully help you have your voice, to be able to advocate for yourself and for the common, things that APC is going to be working on. And at the end of the day, the goal is to hopefully keep college affordable for all of you, but also for students across New York. Heather or any of my Hinman team, what did I miss or what would you like to add?
Yeah, I think the only thing I would add is that it's really important to talk from experience and share those stories to legislators. They have more influence than we could imagine. And when you talk from your own personal experience, which can't be disputed, which is your story, legislators sit up and listen to that. And then from that, we can argue why policy is moving in the right direction or why they should be doing certain things. But I think, our team here at Hinman Straub, we can go to meeting after meeting after meeting, but we're never going to be able to accurately relay what it is that makes you want to go to your particular college, makes you want to go on the track that you are going on, why you made the decisions. Those stories and those conversations can only be done by you because they're authentic when they're being said by you. If we try to adopt your voice, we'll just fail. And so really having that opportunity to come to Albany or to work with CPC on doing videos and sharing your message that way, I think is one of the most powerful things you can be doing as part of the Student Leadership Council.
So do any of you have questions? I know we went through that very quickly. We just really wanted it to be a brief introduction. We are just starting the process of the Student Leadership Council. We are going to probably have another meeting somewhere in February, but most importantly, you'll have time with us here to prep and to think about it and to work on your stories, with Hinman and CPC when you're here in Albany, to make sure that you're ready to go for Lobby Day. But we're happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Anybody have any questions for Janet? Do we have anybody here who participated last year who maybe wants to talk a little about their experience? I don't know if you can unmute or if you're not in an opportunity to do so, but if you wanted to. No, okay, that's fine. That's fine. How about you, Crystal? You were here not last year, but the year before. How was your experience?
It was really fun. Honestly, I was the freshman who first did it. We went to Albany. I was very nervous because I've never done something like this before. But when it actually came to the process, it was just like a normal conversation. And I remember sitting with this one legislator, and he just asked questions, and we had like a time limit, I think. But he was like, "Wait, like give me a couple more minutes with them, and then they can go, and then we can get the next group." And it was really fun. I remember I'm like some of the girls who went with me, they graduated, but I still talk to them because it was just a really good bonding experience too. Even we met a lot of people from other colleges, and we I think we got together like over the summer too. Like not all of us, but some of us, because it's just a bonding experience, and you get to meet all these new people and experiences.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. All right. Anybody else who wants to unmute and talk about what you're expecting or what you think might happen or have any questions? I see a lot of people on screen, which is very exciting.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I was wondering if this is gonna be more, I guess, I don't know how to describe it, but so I used to be part of USS with CUNY, and I feel like my experience with that, we didn't really necessarily get to interact too closely with like legislators and whatnot. Is this more like one-on-one, or it's like still the same, like you have to kind of, I guess, network your way around and like find a moment where you can actually like speak to them?
No, go ahead, Janet. You want to unmute?
So what we do is we set up all your, Hinman sets up all your appointments. And so when you come to Albany, you'll actually have a schedule of meetings and appointments throughout the day. You'll have a team leader and you'll be with others in your group. So you won't be just by yourself. And we'll walk through, like if there's 3 of you that are all students, how do you share the time? How do you all have interaction? There will also be the opportunity the night before. Donna always arranges this really, really awesome like dinner, and we are inviting elected officials. And so we never know who's going to pop in. So usually we have some elected officials who come to, get a snack, to have a drink, and they hang out. And so sometimes they just sit down and want to know like who you are, what's your life circumstance. So it isn't on your own. It will totally be guided by all of us, and we will set the day up for you. And the goal is to have it be as productive as possible. If we're asking you to come to Albany, my goal is that your feet hurt at the end of the day, that you've made some good connections. You killed your 10,000 steps probably by noon, right? If we're all good and lucky, and you go home really tired and Donna feeds you. So that is essentially the 24-hour period. Every year, you guys amaze me on the things I find out about Albany, even though I've lived here for 25 years. A couple years ago, we had some students who ran off and found an all-night cookie place that was just down the block. I can tell you that we started getting warm cookies delivered here to the office on a regular basis. Our colleague Dave is sad that they closed. And one year, a bunch of you actually went to Walmart in the middle of the night to go ride the escalator to go to the world's largest Walmart or something. And I didn't know that fact either. So you guys are going to prove me wrong on something or teach me something this year. I can guarantee it.
And Jan, if I can just add from just years of just meeting with legislators and students, I think that bar none, the legislators, they love meeting with the students. I mean, it's one thing to meet with the staff, and I think they meet with staff and faculty and administrators all the time. But what they really enjoy doing is listening to you all and your stories and your perspectives. So I think if you have a story to tell, you have a legislator that wants to definitely hear it.
Yeah. Agreed. I don't know if there's any other staff from other colleges. I see Maria and Cheryl. If you guys want to talk a little about what your team can expect. I do just want to mention that each institution that participates, you have a staff liaison who's working with us here at Hinman. So for instance, for the College of Westchester, it would be Maria. So you will be hearing from those staff members with all the details for the Advocacy Day next month. They will take care of all the logistics. You literally just need to follow the directions and get yourself to Albany, and we will take it from there. But Maria, I don't know if you want to talk a little about your experiences. You've been doing this for years.
Yes, oh my goodness, a lot of years. Hi, everyone. Hello to my team. I believe all of them are here, which I'm so excited about. So basically, yeah, just to recap, it's definitely a fun experience, but a great experience because you do get to advocate for what's important, not just to you, but other students, right? And not just our own students, but across the board. The next steps really, we will follow up with the logistics of, transportation and all that good stuff. The most important piece now is making sure that, we receive confirmations that you will be joining us so that we can reserve the hotel rooms. That's important. It's a really, really crazy busy time in Albany, in February. So I want to make sure, well, not just me, all of the leaders here that will be going up there with all of you students and graduates, that we have rooms reserved for each and every single one of you. But the most important thing is to prepare right now is just, I would say work on what your story is, right? Because you don't have the luxury of like a full hour with any legislator. Sometimes we're very blessed to have like 5 minutes, and sometimes not all of us get to share our story. So have your story ready, so that when it's your turn to go, you're ready to go. I would say once we have the list of who the legislators are, because they do try to match legislators to where you reside. So I would try and look up your legislator, get familiarized with who they are, and maybe find that one common theme that you share. I know in my years past, I had we brought a student with us that her mother actually used to be the women that like oversaw their grounds for this one particular legislator. So they had an immediate connection, and they shared a lot of that good stuff. So whatever that is, find it. They're human beings just like us, the rest of us, but they genuinely do really care. And enjoy connecting with all of you as students, and really genuinely care to hear your stories. So, that's like the biggest takeaway, and it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. And more importantly, you will all get to meet and spend a lot of time with each other. So there's that wonderful connection that you make amongst each other from the different campuses. So that's about it for me for right now.
Thanks,
you.
Maria. Maya, I see you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Great. So, just from listening to you guys speak, I just had about 2 questions. So, speaking about going to New Albany, I'm assuming that we would have to just organize the transportation for getting to New Albany from wherever
So,
we reside.
right. So from Monroe, you'll be working with Alex Cannell and Christopher Bardo, and they will help you they'll make your arrangements for transportation.
Okay,
So,
so we're
yeah.
arranged transportation. And
Yes.
then for the
Yep.
rooming situation, will we be having roommates, like we would be staying in rooms with each other, groups
That
and stuff like
again
that?
is up. Yeah, that is up to Christopher and Alex.
I see.
So,
Okay.
yep. They'll take care of all that. But we do have a room block. We're all staying at the same hotel. We do have a room block. But your institutional liaisons will take care of all of the logistics for you, from transportation to hotel. We take care of the meetings and all the food and beverage. So you will be well cared for from start to finish.
There was one thing I'm remiss that I
What's that?
didn't share, which is Donna does an amazing job feeding us. So just, be
Come
hungry,
hungry.
because she really does an amazing job.
You're not going to go hungry. That's all I care. I think it's the little bit of the Italian in me coming out. I have to feed people. All right. Well, I did want to take a few minutes at the end, unless anyone else has any other questions. Okay, to turn it over to our communications team, Nicole and Sam, to talk a little about this idea that they've had in this video project that we want to work on. So Nicole and Sam, do you want to unmute and talk for a few minutes about your thoughts and ideas?
Sure. My name is Nicole Stacknick. I work with Corning Place Communications, and we work sort of on the PR and video side, marketing, APC, and getting the stories out of the membership of the colleges and the students to, the world. So what my job particularly focuses in is video production. So I, for a few years now, have been working with the students and making videos telling your stories so that we can tell those stories to the legislators and the decision makers in the state and also at the federal level. So what I will be working with you guys on is sort of crafting your story and figuring out what your message is going to be. We have a couple of opportunities to do that coming up. So our big opportunity will be at your lobby day, which will be at the end of February. So what Donna does is she books a common room that we can use for your lunch breaks, that sort of thing. And in that room, I also set up a camera. We have a background, and you guys have the opportunity to come on the camera and record your message, thanking the legislators for meeting with them today, talking about your experiences meeting with them, if there's anything where you had like a personal moment that you'd like to share. You can also talk about why it's so important to receive the aid that you are receiving, or the TAP, or the work study program. So that is really sort of our large project that we then cut down, and we sprinkle those out through social media and through our website so that people can view those. But in the meantime, I'm hoping that you guys can work with me on creating day in the life videos for our social media pages to put out as we lead into the lobby day. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a bit of a TikTok addict. So I am on TikTok and watching a lot of videos, and I really love to see you guys produce a video about what a typical day in the life as a student at your college looks like, right? So you get up in the morning. Are you a coffee person? Are you a tea person? You know, are you going down the street and grabbing a breakfast and studying while you're doing that? And then, you know, you're going to your classes. Do you have meetings with your teachers? Do you have an internship that you're working on that you want to show off? And then you come home maybe and you're studying, or you've got an interview phone call, that sort of thing. Think about, you know, what you guys do in a typical day, and I'd like for you guys to record that. I can show you a sample if you'd like, or I can drop it in the chat. But I'd love for everyone to record these, and I will send over like a memo on how to record it and how to get it over to me. And then what we'll do is we'll put them together. We'll put the APC and your school's information on there, and then we'll share them with the world, right? Does anyone have any questions about sort of the concept behind that? I know that it's a little bit different than we've done in years past, in that in years before I've gone down and visited some of the schools, but this year I'm really, I'm really gung ho on you guys being able to take over with your phones and do it.
About how long do you want these videos to be? And then Silverio asked, when would they be due?
I'd love if you guys could get them to me before the lobby day, which is going to be the 24th and 25th of February, coming up in just over a month. As far as length goes, under a minute would be great. I can work with you guys to put the text over top, or if you want to become your own video producer and do that sort of editing, like, I'm more than happy for you guys to do that. I feel like I get older every day, and I less and less know what the trends are, but I'm trying to keep up with them.
Okay.
Nicole, one of the questions is I had suggested, Sam's putting them in there. Thank you, Sam. I suggested people like can follow social media so they can see what we did in past years. And so they were looking for the usernames and handles.
Yeah. So in the past years, I've traveled down and done sort of an interview style with the students. But those will give you a good idea of the sort of the topic and how to talk about your experiences.
Nicole, I'm just taking a peek at our Student Leadership Council private website. We should put the social media handles on there too. I just realized it's not on there. But
they're at the very bottom of the page, but I can put them in a more prominent spot as well.
Oh, I see. Yeah, they're little tiny dots. Yeah, but so they are on the bottom of the page. Got it. Sorry, Nicole.
No worries.
They're
that's
in
a
the
great
footer.
idea. I will put them up at the top.
Yep. Okay. But we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So, all right. Any other thoughts or questions, ideas, comments?
Just hopping on the social media. If you don't follow us, please do across all the different channels that we're on. And if you document your journey on your way up to Albany, if you're coming up to visit us, or throughout your time here, please make sure to tag us so we can share that and amplify your message and the exciting things that you do while you're here.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, I think that wraps up our first meeting. I hope you all had a good time and learned a lot. We have really enjoyed meeting and chatting with all of you today. So if you have any thoughts or questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I did send an email out earlier this week or last week, I believe at the end of last week, just letting everybody know about this call. So you should have my email address, although I will pop it into the chat room. But if anybody has any thoughts or questions, just write that in here.
Donna, real quick, when do you have any idea when the next meeting might be?
We are going to do it some point in February. I'm looking up at my calendar. Probably either the week of the 19th. I'm sorry, the week of the 9th or the week of the 16th. We'll see. But I will let you all know when the next call is. All right.
Sorry, just one more question. You said you wanted us to email these videos to you that we make?
I will send out an email, or I'll work with Donna to get an email out to all of you guys, and you can either email them back to me, or if the file's too big, I'm going to put in a Google Dropbox, a Google Drive link.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Great question.
Yes. All right. Any other questions before we wrap up? No? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I can already tell it's going to be an awesome group. We're really looking forward to working with you. And again, keep your eyes open on your emails. We'll be following up. And if you have any questions, either ask myself or ask your institution's liaison, and they can definitely help you and guide you. But again, have a great day, guys. Looking forward to working with you, and we'll see you all again soon.